baseball, and this time it's girls softball, as we have the Glenbard West Hilltoppers facing the Proviso East Pirates in West Suburban Conference play. The Glenbard West Hilltoppers come in with a record of 11-8, 6-4 in the conference. They are coached by Dick Nordmeyer. The Proviso East Pirates come into this ball game 3-11 on the year, 1-8 in the conference. Starting pitcher for Glenbard West is Betsy Carlson. She has a record of 4-2, an ERA of 4.56. And taking the field right now are the Glenbard West Hilltoppers. And let's take them defensively. Out in right field is Ann Posgay. Jamie Trapp will be in center. Audria Giaconetti will be in right. Alice Olinger is at third. Stacy Arnold is at short. Jenny Trapp is at second. Jennifer Witkowski is at first. And a battery of Wendy Elridge behind the plate, and on the mound will be Betsy Carlson. Joining me is John McConville. And John, how does the Proviso East batting order is?
Well, Mike, this afternoon Proviso East will go with a lineup of Shauna Spears, the center fielder, leading off. Batting second will be Judy Sasso, and she'll be on the hill. Sasso has a mark of 1-1 up to this point this season. And on this squad, I'd have to say that it's one of their better performers. Vicki Johnson in the third spot. She'll be playing first base. The right fielder, Julie Broadfield, is the cleanup hitter. Talisa Randall, the shortstop, bats fifth. Batting sixth is the third baseman, Sandy Farabaugh. Chris Wilson, the catcher, will hit seventh. Number 8 is the second baseman, Etta Ward. And batting ninth is Lisa Shoup. Shoup will be playing left field.
So stepping into the batter's box is Shauna Spears. The center fielder ready to lead off things, and on the mound is Betsy Carlson. Her first pitch is a strike as it caught the outside corner. As you notice in girls softball, it's a 12-inch ball. They play with a mitt. They come from the underhand. She bounces that ball in for a ball. The count is even at 1-1. And there's times where a good softball pitcher will throw that fastball about 85 miles per hour. A low-hanging fastball, and Carlson's up with the ground ball. She tosses over to first to Witkowski, and Proviso East is retired in the first out of the inning.
Carlson used all of her 5-foot, 4-inch frame on that one, got the glove high atop the head, and I think the grass may have helped out. It would have bounced a little bit higher, might have given her some problems, but it's rather high at this point right now, so she helped herself out in that instance.
All right, the first pitch to Judy Sasso isn't in there for a strike, so Betsy gets that first strike over the plate. And she gets another strike over there, and the count's 0-2. John's very important for a pitcher, get that first pitch in there for a strike.
And Mike, Betsy's doing a good job moving the ball in and out at this point.
She wastes the pitch down low, 1-2. With the high grass, Betsy wants to keep that ball low, so she gets a lot of ground outs. And there's a short chopper down the third base line, and they let it roll foul. Alice Olinger, the third baseman, was very patient, waiting to see if that ball was going to roll foul, and it did. So the count remains at 1-2.
Olinger right at the very edge of the infield dirt there, just for that particular situation.
Pitch is right down the middle for strike 3. So Betsy records her first strikeout of the day. And we'll go to the third man in the lineup, Vicki Johnson.
Johnson is tied with Talisa Randall in the power department, each of the girls with 3 home runs at this point of the season.
First pitch down the middle for a strike. Betsy having good control. The 0-1 pitch seemed like a rising fastball in there for strike 2.
The umpire, George Lang, not having too much difficulty right now calling this game, with pitcher Carlson showing tremendous control.
There's a ground ball to third. Up with his Olinger. She tosses over to Witkowski. She kicks her foot on the bag, and the Proviso East are retired here in the first inning. So at the end of a half inning of play, we have no score. So, John, a lot of people are watching girls high school softball for the first time. Let's go over some of the ground rules that most fans are not familiar with.
And maybe some broadcasters, too. Go ahead, Mike.
Well, if you notice, it's not like you see out at the parks where they underhand the ball and the pitcher throws hesitations. The pitcher comes off their mound, they are allowed 1 step off the rubber, and they just fire that fastball underhand. And as I mentioned before, sometimes that fastball could reach up to 85 miles per hour. And if you notice the distance between home plate and the pitcher's mound, you have to have a very quick bat to get around that fastball. And there's times where pitchers will grip that ball, and they'll even put a little curve in it and sometimes really give you some off-speed stuff.
Well, they'll tell you the physical conditioning coaches and those involved that the normal way the arm was meant in the human body to throw isn't from an underhand rotation rather than the overhand pitching. So I think you see just what you can do in this instance. Normally most pitchers will come with the windmill windup one time and then come around with the follow-through, and these girls can bring it in pretty well.
It's Judy Sasso on the mound for Proviso East, and let's give you the Glenbard West lineup as they come up to bat. Audrey Giaconetti will lead it off for the Hilltoppers. The first pitcher is down low for a ball. Giaconetti playing right field. She'll be fouled by Alice Olinger playing third base. Batting third is Wendy Elridge, the catcher. Batting fourth is Jennifer Witkowski, the first baseman. And there's a pitch, a swing and a miss for a strike, and Giaconetti's count is 1-1.
It looked like Sasso pulled the string on that one just a little bit, and Giaconetti, who comes in with a .327 average, was definitely fooled.
The 1-1 pitch just misses the corner for a ball, 2-1. Rounding out the lineup, batting fifth is Stacy Arnold, the shortstop. Batting sixth is Jamie Trapp, the center fielder. Batting seventh, Betsy Carlson, on the pitcher. Pitch is high upstairs. The count is now 3-1. And rounding it out, Janae Trapp, batting eighth, the second baseman, and Ann Posgay, the left fielder, batting ninth. 3-1 pitch, and Giaconetti swings at it, fouls it off out of play. And the count is now full at 3-2.
Our cameraman down the left field line there moved to get out of the way. That one that was right in his vicinity.
He forgot to bring his mitt today. I think if he brought his mitt, he probably would have snared that one.
Kind of unusual in that the pitcher Sasso dons sunglasses. Right now,
well, the sun has faded into a cloud. The 3-2 pitch. She swings, foul, tips it back to the screen. Catcher up with it. She throws the first base, but it's wide. And Giaconetti will be safe at first on a drop third strike.
The catcher, Chris Wilson, got her glove on the ball, but it deflected off just to the third base side. She raced back, picked up the ball, but in one motion was not able to get that throw on the target, so it'll be recorded as a strikeout and reach first base.
Here's Alice Olinger. She swings at the first pitch, fouls it off and back to screen. Wilson, on that drop third strike, in her rush to fire that ball with the first base, did not set herself well and aim perfectly to the first baseman. That caused her to throw the ball wide of the bag. So now Glenbard West has a runner on first base, one out, or no outs here in the top bottom of the first inning. She bunts, Olinger bunts, pitcher off the mound, throws the first, and Giaconetti has sacrificed the second base successfully. So Olinger gives herself up on a 1-3 putout. And so Glenbard West has a runner in scoring position in Audrey Giaconetti, and up at the plate is Wendy Elridge, the catcher.
Sasso did a nice job getting off that mound in a hurry, made a perfect throw.
Wendy squared around the bunt, takes the pitch for a ball.
It appears that the bunt is a very useful tool that most offenses will display in girls softball.
If you look at the third baseman, Judy Parabon, she's way in on the infield grass. Count is 1-1.
Wendy had a look of surprise at the call to strike there, but just caught the knees.
She swings, a fly ball to center field. It's going to be caught by Shauna Spears, and she quickly throws to second base, and Giaconetti is back there safely. So now we have two outs, and we have the cleanup hitter, Jennifer Witkowski.
Elledge hit that ball right on the button, but the center fielder had that played perfectly, and Spears was able to haul it in.
First pitch is down low for a ball. Jennifer, the leading hitter, batting it at .367, has 16 RBIs. She has 22 hits and 60 at-bats. Pitch is low for a ball.
Well, we take a look at the runner, the leadoff hitter who reached base on at second right now. The rule states that you cannot leave the base until the pitch is released.
The pitch is released, is in there for a strike. The count is 2-1. So Witkowski waiting for the pitcher Sasso to throw a strike. Coach Nick Normar is telling her to be very patient at the plate. The pitch is high upstairs for a ball. She doesn't have the velocity on her pitches as Carlson does. So she wants Jennifer to pick out her pitch. The 3-1 pitch, she swings a ground ball down the third base line, but it's going to roll foul, and the count is full at 3-2.
Just what you were speaking about, Mike. Just a little bit over anxious are the Hilltopper hitters right now. She got out in front of that ball just a little bit too much, and that's the reason what's fouled on the third base line.
Sandy Parabon guarding the line at third base. As Witkowski expected to pull a pitch upstairs for ball 4. So they pitch away from Witkowski. So the Hilltoppers have runners at first and second, 2 outs. Here in the bottom half of the first inning, we have no score. And here's Stacy Arnold, the shortstop, up. First pitch to Stacy is in there for a ball. Stacy coming in batting at .373, has 13 RBIs. He has 19 hits and 51 at-bats. The 0-1 pitch, she swings a ground ball to the third baseman. Parabol, she steps on the bag to force Jack Canetti at third. So in the inning for the Hilltoppers, there was no runs on one hit, no errors. So at the end of 1 inning of play, we have no score between Glenbard West and the Proviso East Pirates. And let's take a 30-second timeout on your Group W cable sports station.
Good right hand.
Henry, I think you ought to take me out tonight. I don't think there's any reason to stay at home. There's no good movie on TV, is there? Oh, you know how I like a good love story. What do you mean, wait a minute, dear? Is there a good love story or isn't there? I want to do something interesting. Henry, did you hear me? I want to see something interesting. Oh, Henry, you found a love story.
When you need programming information right now, turn to the electronic program guide. It's right on your screen.
That was a good shot.
Mike Costantino back here with John McConvo at Lambert Field in Glenelg, Illinois, as we bring you girls high school softball action in the West Suburban Conference. We have the Glenbard West Hilltoppers facing the Proviso East Pirates, and at the end of 1 inning of play, it's no score. The line score that I gave you in the first inning was incorrect for the Hilltoppers. Let me correct myself. The Glenbard West had no runs on no hits and 2 men left on the bases. So we move to the top half of the second inning, and for the Proviso East Pirates, we have Julie Broadfield, Talisa Randall, and Sandy Faribaugh, the 4, 5, 6 hitters that will be facing Betsy Carlson. So the first pitch is down low in the dirt for a ball.
Broadfield, a stockily built girl. Looks like we can tell where she gets her power from. Second in RBIs for the Pirates. At
pitch getting the inside corner for a strike. Julie playing right field for the Pirates. Pitch bounces in for a ball. The count is even at 1-1.
outfield has her played straight away, respectfully deep.
Pitch high upstairs, just missing for a ball. So Bessie laid off on the fastball, trying to mix it up. Pitch is in there for a drop third strike or ball 4.
Yeah, I was a little bit thrown off also. Each catcher is thrown to first base after a base on balls, and maybe that's the catch, the runner off guard just a little bit there. Have yet to be successful. The base umpire this afternoon's game is John Steinbeck. As I mentioned, George Lang, the home plate umpire. Here's
Talisha Randall. First pitch to her is a strike. There's a throw over to first base, and Broadfield's back there safely.
She strayed just a little too far off the base, and had Bullage put that throw right on the mark, they would have had her picked off.
Pitch is low in the dirt for a ball.
Nice stop by the catcher.
Wendy Elridge behind the plate for the Hilltoppers did a fine job of blocking that pitch, not making sure it didn't get away, and got their runner in scoring position. The Pirates with the runner at first, nobody out. Top half of the second inning, we have no score. The pitch and a ground ball to the third baseman. She throws over to second for the force, but the relay throw is not in time. There's a fine play there by Alice Olinger. She got that ground ball fired to Janine Trapp, the second baseman for the force at second. So the Pirates have a runner at first base now with 1 out. And here's Sandy Faribaugh.
And Olinger stands out a little bit with that black glove there. Looks like she handles it very well. This attempted bunt right there by the 6th place hitter Faribaugh. Unable to make contact, so it's 0-1. Playing up at third base is Olinger, expecting
Faribaugh squared around the bunt, bunts it foul.
But she laid that down at about knee level and was able to get a topspin on it. Just missed staying on the chalk, so it's now 2 strikes.
Faribaugh at 5'2", crouches down, gives a very small strike zone. Carlson's pitch, a line drive right at Olinger. She snaps it, throws over to first to double up the runner to Lisa Randall to retire Proviso East here in the second inning.
That was tailor-made.
So in the inning, there was no runs and no hits nobody left. So at the end of an inning and a half of play, it's Proviso East nothing, Glenbard West nothing.
So we started out with a pitcher's duel here through an inning and a half. Each pitcher issuing a walk but getting out of trouble. Both teams using the bunt in a sacrifice way and also to try to get on base. Pitchers tend to dominate game of softball. And it looks like the third basemen appear to be the most active defensive players on the field outside of the catcher.
Well, like we mentioned, the distance between the pitcher's mound and the home plate area, that the batters have to come around on their fastball or the pitch very quickly, and most of the time they're ready to swing as soon as the pitcher releases the ball, and they'll force them to pull the ball towards the third base side. And there's not much distance like in regular league baseball where the pitcher throws it to the outside, the batter has to go out and lunge for that pitch and hit it to the right side.
Nice background as we look out in the southeast direction from home plate to the outfield. Green background to say the least. A myriad of trees in the outfield. Deep enough, I don't think we have to worry about anybody hitting one into the trees on any occasion. And we're ready to start the bottom half of the second inning.
So we move to the bottom of the second. It's Jamie Trapp, Betsy Carlson, and Janine Trapp. The 6, 7, 8 batters in the lineup, and the first pitch to Trapp is in there for a strike.
Faribault is up about 25 feet off the plate.
Pitch just missed the outside corner for 1-1. Jamie is a twin of her sister, Janine Trapp, the second baseman. She swings a fly ball into center field. Coming in on it is Shauna Spears, and she's under it to retire Jamie Trapp.
Spears has been busy in second field. She caught a line drive, you'll recall, in the first inning off the bat of Elledge, and now here has a little less difficulty as the ball hung up in the air just a little bit too long.
Here's Betsy Carlson, the pitcher. First pitch rolls into the plate for a ball. So Chris Wilson, the catcher for the Pirates, getting a lot of work in these first 2 innings. The 1-0 pitch, Carlson swings a ground ball up the middle. The shortstop coming in, Teresa Randall. She throws to first base. The throw is high to Vicki Johnson, and the ball goes out of play. So Betsy Carlson will go over to second base on the overthrow.
That's a tough call. It was fielded cleanly by Randall. Her throw just a bit high. Johnson would have had to leave the bag to come down with it. She decided to keep her foot on the bag and try to stretch as far as possible. It deflected off her glove, so it'll be E6 if you're scoring.
So here's Jenny Trapp. Pitch is down low for a ball.
Now you see as the camera had their eyes on the shortstop there, third baseman Faribault up quite a bit. Randall going behind her just to cover in case of an attempted steal.
Pitch low in the dirt, gets away from Randall. They're going to throw it to third base, and out of there at third is Betsy Carlson. So on the wild pitch, Carlson alertly took off for third base, and Chris Wilson, like a cat out that behind the plate, picked up the ball and fired at third base, and Sandy Faribault just put the tag on.
She displayed a fine arm there, and we mentioned about Randall covering over at third base there behind the pulled-in Faribault. So great execution of defense right there. Bang, bang play at third, and John Steinbeck made the call.
Here's Jenny Trapp, a 2-0 count. She's faking like she squared around the bunt. There's a pitch outside for a ball 3. So she's on base safely. Make that ball 4.
Oh, for a scoreboard.
So Jenny Trapp,
get that clicker
playing around in the batter's box like she was squaring around the bunt, trying to throw off the pitcher's concentration. So now we have the 9th batter up.
All the infield is up.
And Posgay, first pitcher, is in there for a strike.
Right fielder is shaded over. That's Broadfield playing this 9th place hitter to pull the ball. She has a lot of right field to work with.
Pitch, she swings to right field. Under it is Broadfield, and she gloves it to retire the Hilltoppers here in the second inning. So in the inning for the Hilltoppers, there was no runs and no hits, 1 runner left. So at the end of 2 innings of play, it's Glenbard West nothing, Proviso East nothing. And let's take a timeout here on your Group W Sports Station.
Sports Vision's got the White Sox, the Hawks, the Bulls, and the Sting. And now the best ticket in town has a new low price. Sports Vision's got live exclusive games both on the road and at home. Games you can't see anywhere else. Don't miss any of the action of your favorite teams. Sign up today. Sports Vision, the best ticket in town.
Where we moved into the top half of the third inning with the score Proviso East nothing, Glenbard West nothing. A no-hitters battle between Betsy Carlson of Glenbard West and Judy Sasso of Proviso East. And ready to bring you the play-by-play for the third and fourth inning is John McConville.
Well, thank you very much, Mike, and good afternoon, everybody. Proviso East will start off the top of the third with the 7, 8, 9 hitters. Catcher Chris Wilson following that nice defensive throw. We'll see what she can do offensively. She takes a fastball up and away, ball one.
And the old cliche is after you make a fine defensive play on the field, you're about due to lead off the next inning.
Ball two, as Wilson looks at the offering, which is up just a bit.
On some softball fields, there isn't any grass in the infield.
2-0 pitch, and she's taking all the way, ball three. Betsy Carlson having some control difficulties.
But Glenbard West has that high grass.
The automatic is inside, so the second walk issued by Carlson this afternoon puts the leadoff runner aboard for the Pirates here in the top of the third inning, and that'll bring up Etta Ward, Etta, the second baseman. Number 18 on the back of her uniform.
So Betsy had fine control in the first inning. She retired the Pirates 1-2-3.
Her first pitch is in the dirt, and Wendy Elledge made a nice play to prevent that runner from entertaining any thoughts of second base. Ball one, pitch in the dirt again. Elledge up in a hurry. Wilson not thinking of it, and 2-0 right now. Big pitch right here. Carlson needs to shake the cobwebs a bit. There it is. There's a good pitch right on the outside corner, about belt high, 2-1.
Well, Betsy seems to have found the range here. She's got to get that first pitches over for the strike. She was successful in the first two innings.
She offers a line drive, is fouled down the right field line, evens things at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And it appears that both defenses going with that third baseman guarding the line and playing up just on the infield grass. After that, everybody pretty much straight away. 2 balls, 2 strikes, a runner on, nobody out. Here's the pitch. She had ideas, attempted steal at second base, throw goes into center field. So Chris Wilson has a stolen base, puts a runner in scoring position. Count now reads 3-2. Etta Ward will try to advance that base runner, position that ball to the right side of the diamond. Or there's the possibility of drawing that base on balls and see what the number 9 hitter in the order can do. 3-2 pitch inside, ball 4. She has a good eye because that one looked pretty close.
So the first 2 batters up here in the third inning have reached base. And Wendy Elridge is going to go out to the mound to talk with Betsy. See if they could get something straight. Or Betsy could find the range.
No reason for despair early as Betsy Carlson flashes a few ivories. She still has a smile on her face. It's no score. She still has a no-hitter. We have a pair of goose eggs for each team through 2 innings, but there is a potential uprising here in the third, and stepping to bat is the 9th hitter, Lisa Shoup. Shoup, the left fielder, maybe bunting here, and takes a fastball on inside corner, 0-1.
In 35 in the third innings pitch, Betsy has allowed 38 bases on balls, so that's about a walk per inning she has pitched, and she only has struck out 13.
The 0-1 pitch is high, evens to the ball strike. Here's a throw down to second, but Wilson back in a hurry. Second baseman, Janine Trapp, there to make the tag, but the Pirate runner there in time. 1-1 pitch, swung on and missed, 1-2. Good cut by Shoup, but the ball was in catcher Elledge's mitt. Good fastball by Carlson, so she's ahead 1-2, looking for the fastball here to prevent the runners from advancing. Low pitch in the dirt, blocked by the catcher. Here's a good play at third. They should get her. They have her. I don't think Wilson expected Elledge to come up with the ball that quickly. She positioned her body well in front of the ball. It popped right up into the air. She grabbed it and in one motion threw down to the third baseman, Alice Olinger, who applied the tag. And the surprising thing is that the base runner on first, Etta Ward, stayed right there. So a big defensive play for Glenbard West. Makes it runner on first, 1 out. 2-2 pitch is low in the dirt now after getting ahead 0-2. Carlson finds herself with another full count.
And Award staying at first base gives the Hilltoppers a chance to force at second base.
Ball 4. Shoup was tempted, but she decided to hold back, and she'll take first base. Meanwhile, Ed Award moves over to second, so the Monday morning quarterbacks can talk about that attempted steal.
So the first 3 batters have all reached base on the walk. And a good defensive play by Wendy Elridge has given the Hilltoppers 1 out here in the 3rd inning. But the Pirates are threatening with runners on first and second and 1 out. And the top of the order up.
First pitch to Shauna Spears, backed her away from the plate, but for no reason, as it caught the inside part of the plate at the knees. 0-1. Carlson winds and delivers. Strike 2. That split the middle out. Throw it out to second. They try to kick the runner Ward off the base, but she's back in time. Elledge has a gun, and she's demonstrated here in the 3rd inning. The Pirate runners have to beware of the Hilltopper catcher. 0-2 pitch. Swung on, popped up on the infield. Infield fly rule applies. Carlson has it with no problem. And that's 2 down. So 2 on, 2 out. And the second hitter, Judy Sasso, the pitcher, trying to help herself with the bat, steps in. Sasso was a strikeout victim in the 1st inning.
Good pitch by Betsy as she pitched it down low and forced Shauna Spears to golf it up in the air on the pop-up.
First pitch in the dirt, bounces off Elledge's glove and goes out of play. So the runners who are off with the pitch are awarded the bases automatically. Now 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs, and a base hit could bring in a couple.
So it's up to Betsy to bear down here with 2 outs, runners in scoring position, with the Pirates knocking at the door.
Number 14 on the back of Sasso, right-hand batter, waits the 1-0, inside, ball 2. Not a tragic situation. If she'd walk, this would leave a force at every base.
But you have the 3rd man, a 3rd hitter coming up, and the 3rd hitter is usually known to have a good contact. Now at the count is 3-0, and Betsy, because she can't be finding the range in the 3rd inning, has been giving her problems.
And they are warming up some pitchers just off to the left on the 3rd base side, our vantage point. The 3-0 pitch is high, and Judy Sasso has a free ride down the first. First big threat of the baseball game as Vicki Johnson, number 11, steps to bat. Johnson a ground out the 3rd on a nice play by Ollinger to close out the 1st inning. Johnson, with 3 ducks on the pond right here, steps in. Right-hand batter, tall, lanky hitter. Carlson in the wind. There's the pitch. Fastball for a strike.
That's what Betsy needed, to get that first pitch over for a strike. So now she's ahead 0-1.
When she's been effective, Mike, she's gone to the inside part of the plate and backed off the Pirate hitters. Pirates dressed in their blue and white. There's a shot down to left field. Left fielder may not get to this. She gets back and hauls it in. Didn't know with the crack of the bat if Ann Posgay was going to get that, but she went into the ravine where the levels are at different heights there, and she was able to pull in that long drive off the bat of Vicki Johnson. So a scare, but no harm here in the top of the 3rd. No runs, no hits. There were 3 walks, a runner thrown out attempting to steal, and 3 runners left. We move into the bottom of the 3rd. We're just where we started. Proviso East nothing, Glenbard West nothing.
Just like in basketball, March is known for its madness of tournament play, and just like May is, its madness in tournament play, as regional play will begin in the middle of May. And to let you know where your Glenbard West Hilltoppers and the Glenbard South Raiders will be heading in girls softball, both Glenbard South and Glenbard West will be at the Glenbard West Regional that will be held here and on this field that you are watching today. Joining Glenbard South and Glenbard West here at the Glenbard West Regional will be Glenbard North, Glenbard East, Montini, Lake Park, Streamwood, and Willowbrook will all be here at the Glenbard West Regional in girls Class AA softball.
All right, so the battle of the Glenbards, the 4 schools getting together here, and they will have some company. Still looking for our first hit of the afternoon as we head into the home half of the 3rd inning. And we'll start off with the number 1 hitter in the lineup. That's Audra Giaconetti. Giaconetti grounds at the 3rd. Fireball has it over the 1st. In time, 1 up, 1 down. That didn't take long. First pitch.
So Giaconetti being very aggressive, swinging at the first pitch, but grounds out for 1 out. And right quickly in the batter's box is Alice Ollinger.
Ollinger grounded out, pitcher to first in the opening inning. She takes a fastball she would needed a ladder to catch. 1-0. Judy Sasso on the hill. It's allowed 2 walks, no runs. Fastball low, bounced just before home plate, 2-0. On deck is Wendy Elledge, who's been the busiest Hilltopper. The catcher waiting, the number 3 hitter in the order. There's a line drive over the shortstop's head. Nobody's going to get this. It'll be a base hit. There's the first hit of the baseball game.
A blooping Texas leaguer off the bat of Alice Ollinger gives the Hilltoppers a runner at first base with 1 out and the first base hit of the ball game for both teams.
Nice follow through, good swing by the right-hand hitter. Extension of the arms allowed that ball to go up and over the shortstop's head. So with a run around at 1 out, faking a bunt is Elledge. She pulls back, wisely so, ball 1.
Elledge batting .313, has 13 RBIs and doing a fine job behind the plate for the Hilltoppers.
Defense shaded a little bit toward left field. There's a steal by Elledge. Throw down, she's gonna get her. Elledge in the batter's box. Ollinger with the steal attempt, but the throw from the catcher, Wilson, to the second baseman, Etta Ward, was in time. So quickly there are 2 outs. Both catchers, Wilson and Elledge, are displaying some very accurate and strong throwing arms. It would behoove, I think, both teams to keep their runners near that base. And a 1-0 pitch is lined into left field. Left fielder comes in, and hauling it in is Lisa Shoup. That retires the side, so the no-hitter is broken by the Hilltoppers, but that's it, as Wilson guns down Ollinger. So no runs, a hit, nobody left. We're through 3. It's Proviso East nothing, Glenbard West nothing. Let's stop for a 30-second timeout on your Group W Cable Sports.
Hi, I'm Keith Moreland, outfielder for the Chicago Cubs. Sometimes our team wins, sometimes we lose, but it always feels better to win. But there's a team that you can join that always wins. The United Blood Services team of volunteer blood donors, a team that saves lives. To join, all you have to do is give a unit of blood. So do the right thing, give blood. Do it the right way. Join the United Blood Services team of winners. Call them at 751-1701. Thank you.
We're back at Lambert Field. John McConville, along with Mike Cosentino, bringing you this afternoon's contest. And you'd never know the records of these 2 teams by the first 3 innings of this softball game. Well played, tight defense. Pitchers only stingy in the base on balls area up to this point of the baseball game. And it's at this point where the runs really are at a premium with no score. First team that gets on the board could be dangerous, and the visiting Pirates will start their half of the 4th inning with the cleanup hitter, Julie Broadfield.
Like you mentioned, John, this game shows the dedication of the sport to the athletes. No matter what the record is, they're going in there hustling and doing a fine job playing some good softball.
First pitch, a good one by Carlson, split the middle for a strike. Broadfield, the 21 on her jersey, looks at a fastball, sails away, evens things at a ball and a strike.
Betsy has picked up some velocity on her pitch. She was very strong in the first 2 innings, but in the 3rd, that's where she had her problems, where she walked 3 batters.
1-1 pitch is popped in the right field. The southpaw on that play was Audra Giaconetti. She called off second baseman Janine Trapp, and wisely so. She hauls it in for 1 out, so 1 up, 1 down. Let's take that Hilltopper defense across for you. Alice Ollinger is at 3rd. Stacey Arnold's the shortstop. Janine Trapp at 2nd. And Jennifer Kwiatkowski at 1st. There's a swing and a miss on a fastball by Talisa Randall. 0-1. Ann Posgate, Jamie Trapp, and Giaconetti out of the outfield from left to right. The battery, Betsy Carlson on the hill, Wendy Elledge behind the plate. A fastball makes it 0-2 as Randall did not like that offering.
So Betsy getting ahead of the hitter. She's 0-2. 1 out here in the top half of the 4th inning. No score.
In the dirt, stops short and brings it up to a ball and 2 strikes. Strike zone in softball from the armpit to the knees. Not too much different than the way it's supposed to be in baseball. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Top of the 4th, 1 out, line drive toward the second baseman. Trap has it. The umpire signals that she caught on the fly, so it's 2 up, 2 down. Good defensive work by the right side of the defense behind pitcher Carlson.
Good defensive play by Jenny Trapp. Not only did she snare the line drive, but a smart play. Even after she caught, she wanted to throw to first base to make sure, in case the umpire ruled trap, to make sure she got the out at first.
And the third baseman, Sandy Farbaugh, steps in. Farbaugh's done a nice job at third base. Flew out in the second inning, so she's 0 for 1. No hitter still on the line as a swing and a miss brings the count even at a ball and a strike.
Both Witkowski and Ollinger in on the infield grass as there's a hole between short and third.
Carlson winds up and throws one on the ground, so it's 2 balls and a strike.
Last time these two teams played, Glenbard West was victorious 20-16.
There's a pitch looped in the short center field. Long run. Well, she will not get to it. And Farbaugh breaks up the no-hitter aspirations of Betsy Carlson. The center fielder, Jamie Trapp, ran as hard as she could, but was unable to get under that ball. Saw a single to center field by Farbaugh. Gives the Proviso East Pirates a runner with 2 down here in the top of the 4th. And catcher Chris Carlson steps in. Carlson looks at a fastball for a strike. She got on in the 3rd inning and stole a base. So Wilson with a walk and a stolen base to her credit. Looks at pitch outside, evens it at a ball and a strike.
But then Wilson was thrown out by Elridge as the ball bounced into the plate, and Elridge was very alert, picked up the ball and fired at third to retire Wilson.
Wilson looked like she was going to uncoil, but held up. 1-2, good pitch. Carlson doing a much better job. She's mixing the pitches up inside out. And a fastball swung on and missed. Wilson overpowered by Carlson in that sequence. So Carlson records a strikeout, allows her first hit of the ballgame in the top of the 4th, but keeps the visitors scoreless. So we're going to try to break up this pitcher's duel as we head into the 4th, home half of the 4th. Proviso East and Glenbard West still scoreless.
Looking still at regional play over on the boys in Class AA baseball, the 2 schools in the Glen Ellen area, Glenbard South and Glenbard West, they will travel to the regional being held at Naperville North, and they'll be joined by Glenbard North, Bennett Academy, Naperville Central, Naperville North, and Naperville Central, Naperville North are 1 and 2 in the DuPage Valley in baseball. Lake Park, and then the 3 Wheaton schools, Wheaton Central, Wheaton North, and Wheaton of St. Francis will be at the Naperville North Regional, and that play will begin the week of May 21st on that Tuesday. That's when they'll begin. But stay tuned to Group W Sports Station for more information on regional play concerning your Glenbard West and Glenbard South ball clubs.
As Judy Sasso finishes her warm-up tosses, you saw the 2 coaches, Marilyn Pickers of Proviso East and Dick Nordmeyer of Glenbard West, exchange a few pleasantries. Bottom of the 4th, first pitch is a ball as the cleanup hitter, Jennifer Witkowski, steps in. Witkowski swings and fouls one just past third base coach. Fan has a souvenir down the left field line. Witkowski walked in the 1st inning, but was stranded. Pitch looped about 2 feet over Witkowski's head. Witkowski stands 5 feet 8.
Wilson had to jump in the air to snare that ball, or the pitch from Sasso.
Sasso winds up. Witkowski held off on that one.
Well, like we mentioned before, the last time these 2 teams played, they scored 36 runs. Far cry from the way this game is being played.
3-1 pitch is low, so Witkowski starts off the 4th inning in fine fashion. And it'll bring up Stacy Arnold. Arnold was out via the fielder's choice in her first at bat in the 2nd inning. First pitch is inside, and Sasso has lost the strike zone just a bit. That's 4 straight balls. You see Farbaugh, she has a lot of courage. She's up very tight at third base. Ball 2 as it's low.
You have to have a lot of guts playing third base. That's why they call it the hot corner, because those line drives just ricochet off that bat.
First baseman Vicky Johnson holding Witkowski close. Witkowski bluffs towards second, but holds up as ball 3 is looked at. So, Mike, what happened to Betsy Carlson seems to be plaguing Judy Sasso right now. 3-0 count. Pitch is high, ball 4. The Hilltoppers have runners on first and second, nobody out, and up to the plate steps Jamie Trapp.
Well, the Proviso East infield is coming in to try and calm down Sasso, give her a little encouragement, and tell her just to concentrate, throw strikes, and if they're going to hit, we'll be behind ready to catch it. But the Hilltoppers are threatening as Jamie Trapp comes to the plate with runners at first and second, no outs. Here in the bottom half of the 4th inning, we have no score, each team having a hit, but unable to get a run across the plate.
Each team, as we mentioned, has had some scoring opportunities, and I think along with trying to settle the pitcher down, defense was talking about just how they'd play this situation, expecting a bunt by Trapper in a scoreless game. And she fools everybody and fouls off a fastball. Catcher Wilson gets it as it rebounds off the screen, and it's 1 strike.
Parabol getting on that infield grass.
You'll see the shortstop. Right, you'll see the shortstop move toward third on a steal attempt. There's a ground ball. Sasso knocks it down, has a play at second. Oh, safe. She threw it behind the runner, and here comes the first run of the ball game as Witkowski scores. I think Sasso would have been better off throwing it to first base there. She threw it towards second, and Etta Ward ran over to second base, but before she could get there, Stacy Arnold was perched on second base. That'll be an error on the pitcher, Arnold. First run of the ball game, 1-0 in favor of Glenbard West. And the first pitch to pitcher Betsy Carlson is a ball. She'll try to help herself here. I would think a bunting situation, looking for some more. 1-0, bottom of the 4th in favor of Glenbard West. The 1-0 pitch inside corner for a strike. Carlson backs away as you look at the number 11 on the back of her uniform. The green and white, worn by the Glen Ellen School. 1-1 pitch. High, 2-1. Both runners off the base, but they'll head back.
So Glenbard West going for broke here. As they want to do some damage, they only got 1 run, looking for more.
Ball inside. So it's now a 3-1 count, and Sasso is in danger of loading the bases.
Scoring on Jamie Trapp, she was credited with a base hit, but an error was going to be charged to the second base for dropping the ball and forcing the runner to come home.
3-1 pitch is strike 2. So it's a full count. Will the runners be off? 3-2 pitch, first and second, nobody out. Here it is, ground ball to short. They may try third, rolls up the arm of the shortstop, and the bases are loaded. Talisa Randall had time. I believe that was the case where she looked over to third base to see where the runner was before she had the baseball. Came off the high cut grass and rolled up her arm. That'll be an error on the shortstop. The bases are loaded.
Here's Jenny Trapp.
Trapp looks at an outside pitch for ball 1. No place to put him right now. The defense has let the Pirates down right here.
Jenny batting 167, has 6 RBIs. She could get about 2 with a base hit here.
Second pitch is inside, ball 2. Sasso has allowed arguably 1 hit in the inning, and that the infield variety. Her control and her defense has let her down. 2-0 pitch. Just catches the knees. 2-1. 2 balls and a strike. Sasso trying to bear down.
She's
Takes
trying
the
to get
glove
the
off.
strikeout. She's facing the 8th and 9th batters up in the lineup.
Here's the 2-1 pitch lined right at Farewell. Could be a double play. It is. Just what the doctor ordered. If you're from Maywood there, as that line drive was caught by number 10, the third baseman, Faribault. And Sandy Faribault has really been a busy young lady at third base. She stepped on the base. There was nothing the runner could do. Stacy Arnold coming down from third. And now a runner's on first and second, and there are 2 outs. As Posgay steps in, she looks at a fastball for a strike.
Well, John, we mentioned throughout the broadcast how Parabon is playing in on that third base side, and there again, their defensive position helped her out.
There's a shot to deep right field. Back is Broadfield. She sticks her glove up and hauls it in. Good shot by Ann Posgay. She got all of that, went with the pitch, but nice defensive play by Broadfield, who had her position perfectly. 1 run, a hit, 2 errors, 2 left. We move to the top of the 5th. It's Proviso East trailing Glenbard West. The Hilltoppers 1, Proviso East 0. Let's stop for a 30-second timeout on Group W cable in Glen Ellen.
My students think I'm stubborn, over-demanding, and that's putting it politely. They know they've got to do it right or not at all. But that's why they signed up for this class.
You're the one we want to please. Cable gives the choice to you, the who, what, and when that's right for you.
Cable TV challenges me, keeps me thinking, and it lets us share a few good moments together. That's something we all deserve.
Cable's right. 'Cause cable's not just more choice, it's your choice.
Mike Constantino along with John McConville as we move into the 5th inning, and the Hilltoppers have broken the ice. They have taken a 1-0 lead, and we have such a substitution, Lisa Huber coming in for Ann Posgay. So Lisa will play left field for Ann Posgay. Defensively for Glenbard West. First pitch to Etta Ward, who leads off the 5th inning for Proviso East. Etta reached on a walk, but was left stranded at third in the 3rd inning when Proviso East had their biggest threat when they had the bases loaded and 2 outs. Count is 1-1. Betsy Carlson on the mound for the Hilltoppers. Pitch is high upstairs, and the count is 3-0. Betsy's been struggling in somewhat the odd innings as she can't get that first pitch over for a strike. Pitch is high upstairs, and Etta Ward, for the 2nd time in this game, has walked to reach first base.
The Pirate bench gets a lift right there, and they're doing some talking, trying to
So
give their
defensively,
offense
the
a little spirit.
Hilltoppers look this way. It's Lisa Huber, Jamie Trapp, Audrey Giaconetti. The outfield left to right. The infield 31st is Alice Olinger, Stacy Arnold, Jenny Trapp, and Jennifer Witkowski. The infield 31st, and the battery of Wendy Elridge and Betsy Carlson. There's a throw back to first base, and Etta Ward's back there safely as the first pitch to the number 9th batter in the Proviso East lineup is a strike. Lisa Shop, she swings and misses for strike 2. So Betsy ahead of Lisa Shop, 0-2.
I'll tell you, Elledge is aggressive. She'll challenge any runner. She's up from her crouch position in a hurry, ready to throw.
Elridge, only 5'3" senior. Has a cannon net right arm. There's a pitch wasted downstairs for a ball, 1-2. Glenbard West leads 1-0 here in the 5th inning. Pitch is in there for strike 3. The throw down to second base is going to go off the glove of the shortstop, but the runners will hold as the center fielder, Jamie Trapp, backs up the play. So a stolen base for Etta Ward and a strikeout for Betsy Carlson. So we have 1 out with a runner in scoring position at second base in Etta Ward. And we move to the top of the order and Shauna Spears. Shauna 0-for-2 officially, grounded to the pitcher in the 1st inning and then popped up to Betsy Carlson in the 3rd. First pitch is down low for a ball.
It's 3 strikeouts right now for Carlson. She helped herself there. Tying run on second base. 1 run on 2 hits for the Hilltoppers. No runs and a hit for the Pirates.
Pitch is in there for a strike. 1-1 to count. It seems when Betsy gets that first pitch over, she's very effective on the batter. But once she gets that first pitch for a ball, she seems to struggle and lose her concentration. So the 1-1 pitch is low downstairs for a ball.
Elledge with a nice pickup on that play, and she fires it back at Carlson as if to say, let's go.
So the 2-1 pitch to Shauna Spears. Pitch high upstairs for a ball. There's a throw down to second base, and safely back there in time is Etta Ward.
Mike, that was an excellent decoy play as Arnold, the shortstop, cut right in front of the runner as if to say, I'm not going to be back in time. Meanwhile, Trapp snuck behind her, and they almost pulled that off.
3-1 pitch is in, down low for ball 4. So Betsy not having the control here as runners on 1st and 2nd, 1 out here in the 5th inning. Glenbard West leading 1-0. And that was the 6th, or checked at the 8th walk Betsy has given up so far in this ballgame.
Judy Sasso, the pitcher, will try to help herself out here with 2 runners on, only 1 out.
First pitch is high upstairs for a ball, ball 1. Now is trying to give some confidence to Betsy as she comes out towards the pitcher's mound after the pitch Ball rolls into the play for a ball, too, and they might have Etta Ward in a rundown, but they don't, as Elridge hang on to the ball for a while, as they almost had Ward, a Proviso East base runner, in a rundown, but Etta got back to second in time. So 2-0 the count.
Looked like they were thinking steal right there, but Etta Ward wisely decided against that.
To Judy Sasso, pitch high upstairs for ball 2. Throw back to second base in time. Is Etta Ward? 3-0 to count to Judy Sasso.
Waiting on deck, Mike, is Vicki Johnson hit a long shot to left field that was hauled in by Posgay a couple innings ago.
Ball rolls to the plate for ball 4. So Carlson gives up her 9th walk of this ball game.
Warming up in the bullpen is Kathy Wilkin, and she may be called on here as the manager comes to the mound.
So 9 walks given up by Betsy Carlson, and Dick Nordmeyer comes up to the mound to have a talk with Carlson. And it seems that's going to be it for Betsy as he takes the ball from her. And like you mentioned, John, coming in from the bullpen is number 17, Beth McKay. Or check that. Coming in from the bullpen is Kathy Wilkin. So Beth McKay and Kathy Wilkin were both warming up in the bullpen. And it's Kathy Wilkins that's going to replace Betsy Carlson on the mound.
Mike, give you some statistical information about Kathy Wilkin as Carlson is congratulated by her teammates as she heads to the bench. Wilkin has pitched but 4 innings this season. She has yet to record a decision. She's allowed 3 hits, 2 earned runs, has issued 4 base on balls, and has yet to strike out a batter. Her earned run average is 3.50. Right-hander, 5'7", 125-pound junior. So she'll be called on in a difficult situation as the visitors have loaded the bases via the walk. With only 1 out, Vicki Johnson, the number 3 hitter in the order, tied for the home run lead with 3 home runs and 3rd in RBIs for Proviso East. The first baseman, Vicki Johnson, will be Kathy Wilkins' first challenge here in the bottom of the 5th, top of the 5th.
So Betsy Carlson leaves after pitching 4 1/3 inning, as she has given up no runs. She's only given up 1 hit, has struck out 3, but her downfall was the base on balls as she given up 10 walks in 5 innings.
Mike, all 3 base runners are Carlson's responsibility, so she can win this game if they make it through this inning with the lead. If not, she still has the chance of losing this baseball game. It'll be up to Kathy Wilkin right now. She'd like to go the last inning in 2 2/3 and shut down the Pirates. Let's see what happens here as Johnson steps in.
So Vicki Johnson with 3 home runs for the Proviso East Pirates possesses the power, and the first pitch to her is in there for strike 1.
I think a good idea there. She wanted to get a look at the new pitcher. She'd seen Carlson a couple of appearances, wants to see what Wilkin looks like.
Wilkins' pitch is low in the dirt. Good scoop by Elridge. Save that one from going to the screen and count is even at 1-1. So a force at any base. Vicki Johnson, number 3 batter, wants to hit it as far as she can. She hits it, a fly ball to center field.
This should tie the game.
Jamie's traps under it. She can't catch it. She throws the home plate. It's not in time.
Mike, they're going to get her because she left way too soon. No doubt about it. It wasn't even close. As soon as pitcher picked that up, threw it right down to 3rd base, and that'll do it. So a very costly base running error by the Pirates closes out the 5th inning. Instead of a game-tying sacrifice fly, you have a double play to erase matters, and maybe Coach Pickens will say something, but there's no doubt that Etta Ward left the base way too soon.
So once again, Wendy Elridge being very alert. As soon as she got that throw in from Jamie Trash, she quickly went to 3rd base and to make sure that Etta Ward did not leave the base too soon, and she was successful. So the Proviso East, after loading the bases up with 1 out, their own miscue got them out of a rally. So we move to the bottom half of the 5th inning with the score, Glenbard West leading the Pirates 1-0.
Mike, that play will go, if you're keeping score, 8-2 to 5. Double play to get the home team out of trouble right there. And Wilkin does what she's called on. He gets her team out of trouble, although not the most usual double play in the world.
So in the last 3 innings, the Pirates have left 6 base runners.
Ooh.
And Glenbard West, compared to them, have left 5. 2 in the first, 1 in the second, and 2 in the fourth. So we move to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Glenbard West leading 1-0. And we move to the top of the order as Audria Giaconetti will lead things off. Hilltoppers coming in with a record of 11-8. Proviso East with a record of 3-11. First pitch is down the middle for a strike.
Sasso continues to tantalize the Hilltopper batters with some good control.
Pitch high upstairs for a ball. Giaconetti reached base on a drop third strike and then reached second base, and then she was out on a fielder's choice on a force at third base. Pitch rolls into the catcher's mitt, and the count is 2-1.
Notice Sasso trying to stretch her arm a little bit. That's either a sign that she's tired or she's still trying to get loose. But it's kind of late to be getting loose.
Pitch is high upstairs for ball 3. 3-1 to count. Sasso sometimes probably struggling to get some location. Pitch down the middle, and Giaconetti swings a fly ball to left field, and it's going to drift foul. So the count will register up at 3-2.
Shoup gave chase to it, but it fell far short and about 5 feet foul.
With only a 1-run lead, the Hilltoppers don't feel very comfortable as they like to get more. As the last time these two teams battled, it was 20-16 in favor of Glenbard West. Pitch down the middle for strike 3. So Giaconetti looks at a pitch down low that gets the strike zone.
Umpire George Lang with the call, and third base coach Nordmeyer says you have to swing when it's close. Audra looked back in disbelief at the call, but
first strikeout by Judy Sasso, and here's Alice Olinger. She swings at the first pitch, back to the mound. The Sasso, the third baseman, picks up, throws to first base in plenty of time.
What a cannon by that Sandy Faribault, Mike.
Faribault coming into the mound as after Sasso knocked the ball down with her glove, and Faribault picked it up and fired to Vicki Johnson at first base to retire Alice Olinger. So now there's 2 outs. So that's a 1-5-3 put out. So Wendy Elridge, the spark plug of the Hilltoppers, in the batter's box with 2 outs. Takes a look at the first pitch in there for a strike.
Mike, you can see Elridge, like a lot of other hitters, are already striding into it, anticipating a fastball, and it comes in at a slower speed, and you would think they'd have her time by now.
And she swings and misses for a strike 2. So Elridge is behind with 2 strikes.
Just when I say that, Sasso crosses me up too and throws that one in pretty hard.
Hard upstairs. Wendy takes a cut of ground ball to the shortstop, Arnold, and she throws over to first base, but it's in time as Talisha Randall had a little problem with it. She picked it up in playing time to retire Elridge. So at the end of 5 innings of play, as the Hilltoppers are retired 1-2-3,